G'day and welcome to another in the Motley Fool series, What I've Been Reading, where we share with you what our team has, literally been reading. Why? Well, the guys are voracious readers anyway. We're inquisitive, thoughtful, interested people. And if we have some insights, if we have some thoughts, if you enjoyed a book or maybe just the points the book has made, we want to share them with our audience. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. We appreciate it. By the way, as you go through this video, as Mitchell impresses you with his intellect and skill and experience and insight, hit the like button for us. Why? Because it's good for Mitch, it's good for me, it's good for everybody, but most importantly, it helps other people find the video. Also, as I say every time, if you're enjoying these videos, whether it's What I've Been Reading, Stocks in Focus, Stock of the Month, Motley Fool TV, probably another Motley Fool Live coming sooner rather than later, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. That way, YouTube lets you know when we produce something that you probably want to watch. If you're watching this now, I figure you'll want to watch the rest of the stuff too. So please do us a favor and do that. Speaking of Mitch, let me introduce Mitchell Lawler. G'day, mate. How are you?
I'm well, thanks, Scott. How are you?
I'm very well. Mate, you have read a book that I have been, partly meaning to read, partly I can't believe I haven't read for ages. No Rules, Rules by Erin Meyer and Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix. Mate, I'll let you tell the story. Tell us about No Rules, Rules.
Yeah, No Rules Rules is a good sort of look into Netflix's culture and what Reed Hastings, the co-founder of Netflix, sort of identifies as the grounds of why the company has been able to really reinvent itself multiple times through that history of entertainment. You know, we've gone from you go to your Video Easy or the likes to hire out a movie, and they would often make the money out of late fees. But
yes,
then came the movies on DVD, which then led to Netflix being able to actually send out videos through the mail, and then making that content online once we saw the proliferation of sort of streaming services. So the company, through those changes, has been able to continuously reinvent itself, and Reed really puts that down to the fact that its culture doesn't really have rules. It's the no rules rules policy, which is if you have really talented people, and Reed talks about this as talent density, you don't need as much hand holding. You don't need a really detailed handbook as to what people need to do and the checks and balances.
I like that. I mean, when you're talking about talented people, I guess there's two parts of this, right? There is the raw innate talent, the people who can just do the stuff. But there's that kind of cultural piece as well, because I think Buffett talks about, if you want people who are hardworking, smart, and have integrity, but if you only got the first two and you miss integrity, they're going to lead you astray, right? If they're smart and hardworking, but they want to undermine you, be careful, because you've loaded the gun. So to some degree, talent is a double-edged sword, right? Or maybe it's got to have those two components. You have to have the raw ability, but also if you don't have if you have a culture of no rules, it's carte blanche, it's either anarchy, or it's everyone pulling together for the right things. How does that kind of play out at Netflix?
Yeah, well, Reed speaks to the fact that often having the no rules policy, you do have times where it doesn't work in your favor, but often the overall net positive outweighs the negative effects of it. But also it is sort of a culture that you need to be careful in the areas in which you do implement this. So in terms of safety or human resource policies, they do stick to processes still. They do have very strict guidelines. It more lends itself well to where you want high creativity. You want an environment that fosters feedback and allows people to really put the work ahead of everything else.
I haven't thought about the investing takeaways, actually. I'll ask you for yours first, though. Obviously, great business books is just great because they give us a look inside businesses and you get a little bit of a sense of what made this particular business great. And as investors, we know it's about the price you pay, but it's maybe more so, or at least equally, about the quality of the business and being able to do the business analysis, not just the financial analysis. What did you learn, if anything? What did you take away from No Rules that you maybe might apply to your investing, or at least to think about when you're looking at other businesses?
I think it mostly just reinforced the fact that culture is such an important aspect for a business, and it doesn't, it's hard to quantify. We don't see it in annual reports as a line item on the P&L statement or on the balance sheet. It doesn't lend itself to that. So and despite that, it is so critical to the performance of a business. And I suppose from my perspective, it reinforced that if you have a really bureaucratic sort of business where there are a lot of strict regiment rules in place, then you can see that sort of play out in a low performing business. So really, as investors, we want to be looking for those companies where there is high talent density. There are people in the business that don't need to be handheld. They have the agency and the autonomy to do great work. And if we can find businesses that have a high group, like a large grouping of those people, and management sort of fosters it and ensures that it can thrive in the environment, then I think you might be onto a winner for an investment.
I like that, mate. I also figure the way you talked about the fact that, sometimes this normally works, but there's occasion where it hasn't worked. It feels like investment in general, feels like portfolio management, feels like the idea of the exception proving the rule. If we're always trying to just minimize the downsides or remove the chance, excuse me, I got the cold this morning. If you remove the downsides of the things that could go wrong, and therefore you don't give a business chance to do the right things right, you kind of miss the point, right? So you want to, it's like everything. With investing, if we say, well, we never want to have a loser, you'd say, well, let's stay in cash. You'd miss all of those companies that did really, really, really well. And sometimes a process, no matter how good it is going to be right 6, 7, 8 times out of 10, never 10 times out of 10. And it kind of feels like that with Netflix as well. They could have removed the risk of that, downside of people making bad decisions or things going wrong, but in doing so, missed the upside that made Netflix what it is.
Yeah, and I think the book is good in sort of making that case or telling that story to us, because it also Reed Hastings sort of tells the story of his previous business. He had a company called Pure Software, and in that business, he did have a heavily process approach to it, and so he learned a lot of lessons from Pure Software, where he actually had to sell that to another business because it just wasn't performing as well. So he had the benefit of learning from his own mistakes, and I think the book serves as a really good book to investors or people who have their own businesses, where we can actually learn from Reed's past experience.
That's very cool, and an amazing business story. The Netflix story is just completely fascinating. So I haven't read it yet, mate. I'll put it on my reading list. No Rules by Erin Meyer and Reed Hastings. Mitch, thanks for sharing it with us. Thanks for sharing some investing lessons. Fools, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the Motley Fool's YouTube channel. Do all those things, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you want more like this, and I hope you do. Thanks again, and until next time, Fool on.